Now let's start the share. Let's do the screen so I don't want you to miss anything. Okay. So what we will do in hybrid rendering in Photoshop. You have already scanned your 2-point perspective. It should be PDF, PNG, or JPG format, right? So let's open that in Photoshop. Where did my go? Okay. So what you will do is just open wherever you have saved that one. So I have this 2-point perspective scan. I will open it. It's in PDF format. This you see here is just the final version, not a final version, but I was working on it last semester when I was doing the demo. So this one, I will just say open. Okay. So that's the one that I sketched on tracing paper and then scan it. So first what I will do here, I will make sure I have nice cropped windows in here. You guys able to see? So I will make sure I don't have anything that I'm just getting out of things in here. So when I select something, I would able to be inside of that. So if you see here, if you have something like that, just make sure you have cropped nicely and then say, okay, so you have the cropped version. I'm using Control minus and Control plus to zoom in and zoom out. Now this is your layer 1, right? So just make sure, make a habit of renaming your layer. So if you see here, this layer 1, can you see that layer 1? Just rename that, like just click on it and say original copy. Because once you didn't rename your layers, you will have multiple layers. If you see in this part, see how many layers I have in here. And then you just lost in that layer. So make sure you always rename it so you know what you're working on. Okay. So I will just duplicate that original copy and say duplicate. Right click on this and say duplicate layer. Okay. You guys are working with me or no? And then I will say working copy. And then that copy, you can keep it above all your layers. So that will be always on the top and this will be always on the bottom. Okay. So when we have done, now we have the white. Do you guys have your PNG without the background? If you have PNG, does it come with without the background? Or it still have a white background there? So we can just close this, the original copy, and then you can use a magic wand just to delete the white in there, because we don't want a lot of spaces in there, because once you know that you just had an outline, we will just delete this white background. Make sure you get that. Sometimes your pencil or pen mark, because if you see here in this, when I did it, still I'm not able to, my pen mark didn't scan it properly. So maybe I will just have to draw when I select any of there. But make sure you delete all the white marks, all the white backdrop there. We can flatten it, but we need that outline, that sketchy outline that we have in there. So I'm just clicking each individual and hope you have not traced over your flooring material, because we can add flooring. Did you guys able to scan it without the flooring? Yes. I'm using the magic wand. If you see here, that's the magic wand tool. Oh, so how did you use it? Did you scan it? with the photo. Like, you need to scan it if you actually use scanner, so that you can either this one. Select and make sure you delete it. If you don't click and then don't delete it, you will not be able to. Okay, just make sure you do finish all that. Yes.
Like button select and then when I hit the delete, it won't delete it.
It will be because you have to hide your backdrop. Can you hide the backdrop? So we have two copies, right? So if it's not get deleted, make sure you have the original copy that I is. So if you see here that I, you just need to click on it and then you will just hide that layer there. And just select all the white parts and delete. Yes. Just make sure you delete all the white parts. So whatever we are doing it here, we will add multiple different materials and textures in here. Okay. Select and click delete. Should get all that corners wherever you have. Delete. Control. It should be like a nice pixel with your sketch over there. Okay. So if you're still doing it, I want you to go ahead. Let me just go in our modules. We are on week 13. So if you go in hybrid rendering, I have given you more, like we will today remove white background, gather all the materials and finishes. So now if you see here, the resources for hybrid rendering and the sketch deliverables I've given here. So if you just click on this resources on hybrid rendering, What the assignment? Why assignment? Link, where is the link? Sorry, I just messed up. Maybe just go down on here. Yeah, you should get this, like I just gave you the same one for our rendering Revit class as well. So if you see here, you have multiple textures here on that side. If you're not getting in here, just go on the 10th on Wednesday, because I messed up with this link here, but you will get the resources for hybrid rendering in Archviz in here on Wednesday. You can click on that. And once you click on that, you will get all the details. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to download, okay, one of the flooring material. If you have a rug, you can download the rug, okay? You can download a sky or whatever you will able to see from the window. If you see on this one, can you see here, you have some outdoor view from the windows. So download that. What material you want to use on a fireplace, okay? That you will download some of the materials that in here. If you have a rug, this you remember what material you want to use, which material you want to use for the flooring, and then even for the wood on the ceiling. Then the entourages, like a human figures here. Can you see here? I've added to some entourages like plants, wall paintings. Gather all the images, okay? At least now I want you to get minimum for the flooring and the fireplace. So today we will just talk about how we add a flooring and the fireplace area, and then I will talk about the remaining, the lights from here and everywhere, how you can see the sunlight coming from the window, or how you can add shadow. I will show it on Wednesday. So you will have, at least when I show how you can work on fireplace, floor, and we can add colors to the walls in today's class. Okay, so go grab the material for the fireplace from here and the flooring, okay? And save it on your folder, like whatever you have in here. I'm just added few of this downloaded one like this. Just save it in one folder that there you can add there. Okay, take 5 minutes. I will pause so it will be not too long. And then I will start again the Zoom recording. Okay. So once you do all that, okay, now if you see here, few of you have Control D. When you select something, if you have to just paint on a wall, if you see, if I just select this one, my window gets selected, something is not right here. So just try when you just click on this part, it just get selected the one you wanted. If not, you need to add some lines with the pencil mark. So what I will do in here, Control D. If you want to deselect, make sure you say Control D. Okay, so I'll just crop it a bit just in here. So I will have a final line, but still here, my door is not closed. So I will just use a pencil. Where is my pencil? In here, yes. Pencil tool. And I will change that white. If you see that color, if you see Control, the color, I'll just change that to black. Say okay. And I will just try to draw that line in here. If you see, this is just a small one. You can, on top here, you get that things. You can just change the pointer, like in here. And then I will just try to draw a simple line. I know it's kind of thicker, but that's okay. You will add, if you want to click shift, if it's straight line, you can click shift and then draw a straight line, but that is not that straight. So I'll just say Control Z. If you have something like that, I will just draw a simple line. Drawing a straight line freehand is easier for me than this. Okay, I'll just keep it like that for now. Okay, now, before we add any materials, make sure you open your materials in a Photoshop, okay? So what I will do, I will go in File and say Open. Okay, and I will open all the materials that I want to use in there. So I will use my floor, that one for the fireplace. I open it. Why it's taking so much time? It's open it. Now what we need to do, we need to add this material to your Photoshop file. So what you will do, you will go in Edit, okay, and say Define Pattern. Okay, Edit, Define Pattern, and then say this is my fireplace backdrop or whatever you want to say, and say okay. Okay, so this will be in your Photoshop file just to add a background. Okay, now I will open my flooring pattern. I will say open. Okay, and again, you will do the edit. If you want, like, not this way, but the horizontal way, you can just do image rotation 90-degree counterclockwise. So you will get this way or other way. So you can just do that rotation in image rotation in here. So now I will again go in Edit, Define Pattern, and I will say flooring pattern dark. If you want to try with the lighter, you can go. I just keep it dark. So if I'm not happy, I can just change it to lighter one. So I just keep it like that. Okay. Now let's go here. Okay. Now what I will do, I want to add a flooring pattern in here. But before that, we use a layer mask. So we will add a color to the flooring pattern, and then we will add the materials on top of it, and then we will combine that together. Okay. So now if you see what we are doing in here, like if I have to show you, can you see, even though it's in this one, can you see here? It shows more or less perspective in like the flooring materials, and it doesn't look like that we have added that material later, right? So we will do the same thing for our project here. So what I will do, I will choose a pen. Can you see the pen in here? Select pen tool, okay? And then what I will do, I will just trace over it the whole flooring in here, and then we will pull up, add a color in that, okay? So I will start outside somewhere here, maybe just, and zoom in, zoom out whenever you are selecting that, because you need to be precise. I think I just started again, Control Z. Okay, so I'll just start at this corner. I'll go all the way, come here. It's just a continuation. You can just zoom in. Make sure if you have like curve, just draw like multiple points in there and curve it up if you have a straight line. Control Z. I need to keep it nice and tight. So go curve this one is half, but I'll just finish it somewhere like in here. Just trace over nicely. Complete. You need to complete. I'm just using a backdrop. Sorry, Control Z. I'm just using some outside in here, but you need to complete the boundary just to get there. Now, if you see here, I have few space in that again comes in that part, again come under the flooring, right? So I will just click on Control. Shift. I will just click on Shift, not Control. It's just Revit, and in here I'm just getting, if I click on Control, I can add that extra space with, even though it's not in that loop. Did you guys get it what I did there? Yes, no? Yes. Yes, just a pen tool. You need to complete, but make sure you have a complete backdrop, okay? Once you do that, you want me to show? Once you do that, can you see there is a yin yang here? Let me just click here. Can you see here that at the right bottom corner, there is a yin yang, like black and white there? You just click on that and say solid color when you have you are in the pen tool, and change the color to any of that. Okay, if you're not doing along with me, let me know so I know I can just show it quickly.
Can you redo that color one?
Yes. So if you see here, when you have in the pen tool, make sure that is selected, and then go in that here, click on this and select solid color. And if it's black, just change to any color. It doesn't matter. Just change to any, when you click on it, you will get this way. And then the color fill, you will get the floor in there. In the layers, color fill 1. Okay, I will just rename that. Make sure you need to rename it. I will say flooring. Maybe just flooring, not 1. Okay, you good? Yes, sure. Let me just pause it. I just don't want you to watch a really zoom. Okay, now when we have the pen tool in here, we will use a rectangle tool. Don't go for any frame or this tool, okay? Just make sure you use a rectangle tool. Okay, and whenever you're drawing a rectangle tool, make sure your rectangle is right above your flooring. So if you miss something, you're able to, your flooring should take the whole part of your flooring. So make sure it's nice and big. And then the rectangle, rename that rectangle as a flooring overlay. So just click on it and say flooring overlay. Okay. And then right click on that flooring overlay, that rectangle one. Once you right click, go in blending options. Okay. And then once you get the blending option, click on pattern overlay text there. And once you get the pattern overlay text, you will have the pattern. You just have, you need to select the pattern you have chose for your flooring. Okay. And then see the scale. If it's really tiny, you will work with the scale as per the drawing. Make sure you have nice and big wooden patterns that will, you can change the angle if you have the horizontal, but if you're not sure about it, how you don't want that way, you can change that to vertical as well. Okay, I'll just keep it like that. I like the vertical one, so I'll keep it. And I say, okay. Okay, all good till this much? Yes. Now, what I will do when we have to change this, we need to distort it or make it in perspective. If I have to make it perspective, you can just select the transform or a simple keyboard command is Control T. That's the easiest one. You can go in Control T. Okay, once you Control T, select that. See this one? No, it's still not there. Just select here, Control T. And if you right click on that, why it's not there, getting it? Flooring outlay, okay. Or you can just go in transform, free transform, Control T or free transform. And then right click on that. Once you right click, you will get scale, rotate, skew, distort, and perspective. Okay. So if you just see the perspective in here, if you just do like that, the pattern doesn't change, but just your rectangle goes in perspective. So we don't have to do that. So when we have to change our pattern in perspective, always remember we need to do one step that is really important, that we need to click on that flooring overlay, that rectangle. Okay, right click on it and change, like convert to smart object. This is really important step to do that. So when you do convert to smart object, okay, once you do that, convert to smart object, again, you will go in edit and say transform or free transform. Once you do the free transform, right click and distort. Distort will help you to play with your perspective as per the drawing. Now, if you see here, my flooring pattern is changing. Now, what I will do, I'll just select. If you're not sure what you need to do, you need to align with the wall. You can just see, if you see here, there is the opacity of the layer. Just make it a bit lighter. So I know I can just, and if you just pull that a bit outside, that's perfectly fine. You just wants to see how it looks. Just pull that and see how it looks. And then you can come back and change the opacity to 100%. Okay. Now, if you see, you can see the flooring pattern in perspective, but still it's not over, like you're not able to see the furniture. So we need to make it like convert to the overlap that, right? So we need to merge this two layer. Like if you see here, the flooring, the pen should be always, or the whatever we trace over with the pen should be always at the bottom. And the texture or material that we applied should be always on the top, okay? Now, if you see in the center, in between in here, you need to put your mouse or hover your mouse in between there and click Alt, or if you have a Mac, it's Command, I'm not sure. So just click Alt, and when you see here, you get a different arrow that's then enter arrow with a rectangle. If you click on that, you will see that overlap like that. Okay, good. Now what we will do, I will show you the similar method for your fireplace. Okay, this is still not like the one I added at this way. This was If you see here, this still not nice perspective in here, but you can just work on this way. The way you have added your flooring, you can work on. You can just say Control T again, and then you can just play around the way you want. Once you have added that, still just click on the flooring overlay. If you're not happy with it, you still can play and change the way it looks. But make sure it is above the color. If you just come inside that color, you'll able to see that color there. So make sure you have a nice big thing that more like a bigger than the color that you trace over it, the boundary line that you trace over it. Okay? You guys are good? No? No? Okay. Let me just pause this.